So one, Jay, I imagine you hear this all the time, but what itinerary would you suggest for a 10-day visit or a 10-day first-time visit to Costa Rica?
Yeah, again, that varies from traveler to traveler, right? If you come with your family, maybe you would like to go to some particular areas. If you're traveling solo or seeking for adventure, but mainly what I would suggest is, and I don't know if I can share my screen, and so here's Costa Rica. Well, you cannot notice in this type of map. However, there is a mountain range that basically goes from northwest, from where you see here Liberia. So from Liberia, from this area, northwest to southeast. So it basically crosses the country. It splits the country in two. So that's perhaps the most important thing to consider, that even if we are a small country, smaller than the state of West Virginia, but it's going to take time to go from point A to point B. So this is Costa Rica central area. San Jose is our capital. And I would recommend one night in San Jose or one full day if you are big on museums and history. But that should be a guided tour, because San Jose is a type of cities that you won't understand by yourself. Mainly for political reasons. There are some things that are not, let's say, connected somehow, or they're easy to understand. So you will need someone to interpret the history and the stuff that you see for you. So let me admit Elizabeth. Okay.
Nice. Thanks for taking care of that.
Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. We are just beginning talking about Costa Rica. I'm Jay. I'm a local expert here. So, all right. So continue. So the first night, you'll be arriving into San Jose Airport. That is not located in the province of San Jose per se, but at the outskirts of San Jose, like 40 minutes away from San Jose. Anyways, one night in San Jose or surroundings, and actually after a meeting, if you wish, I can paste the information that I have on the 10-day itinerary, so don't worry about taking notes on the names, but just for you to have an idea. So San Jose, and then from San Jose, you can move around this, let me see this area. So where you see here, Alajuela, so you can do Poás, P-O-A-S, Poás volcano for one night or for one day. And then you should continue to the area of La Fortuna. La Fortuna and Arenal volcano is the same region. The names are interchangeable. So when I say Arenal or La Fortuna, I'm referring to the same area. And in La Fortuna, I recommend at least 3 nights in La Fortuna in order to explore the area properly. La Fortuna is actually like a giant outdoor playground with activities and fun for all. So make sure that you spend 2 or 3 nights, but two minimum. So you got to cover the hot springs there, the waterfalls, suspension bridges, wildlife watching trails, whitewater rafting as well. So 3 nights there would be perfect. And then from La Fortuna, you can move, or you can go to this area called Upala. That's where we have Rio Celeste or Tenorio volcano area. Rio Celeste is this beautiful turquoise waterfall and river. And even if the area in general is not that explored, the national park is visited because of this beautiful waterfall and this amazing river. So I would spend there like a couple of nights as well. If you want to have a mixture of the hotspots or the most common places, and also more like off the beaten path. So Upala, that would be the area. And then from Upala, you can actually keep going to the area right here, where we at the province of Guanacaste, that has all this long coast, and you can explore from there from Tamarindo, different beaches, also Tamarindo, Conchal, even Samara. So you're gonna take here at least 4 days, and it would be ideal if you get your arrival flight into San Jose Airport, SJO, and once you're gonna be here on the Northern Pacific area, that your flight out is from Liberia Airport. So otherwise you will have to drive about 5 hours back to San Jose area. So
Hey, Jay, so while we're in Guanacaste, Manny asked, what's a good area to stay in Guanacaste if you've got kids?
oh yeah, if you got kids, well, there's a nice area called, let me see, if I see it here. So near this area, right here, Parque Nacional Rincón de la Vieja, or the area called Rincón de la Vieja, they have different hotels that actually they have their own, they are like big haciendas or big farms, and they run different tours for families, like mountain biking, hiking tours. They have tubing, or also tranquil rivers. They have hot springs as well. They have the adventure tours like zip lining, horseback riding. So they have all of those activities in these big farms, and there are hotels there that operate these kind of tours on site. So it's like you don't have, once you're at the hotel, you can explore the farm. You can spend 2-3 nights there and have fun during those days. And from there, you can move to this beach, the Playa Hermosa. It's actually family friendly. As you can see in the picture, the ocean is normally very, it's swimmable. It's a tranquil ocean. So Playa Hermosa is a good area to visit with little kids. And also not far from Playa Hermosa, a beach called Conchal as well. However, Conchal doesn't have that direct access, so you must stay at Conchal Reserve. So it's a big hotel there. So yeah.
So in both of these spots, is there a particular hotel or hotels that you'd recommend, like any that you really like?
Where, excuse me?
So in Rincón de la Vieja, where you said?
Rincón de la Vieja. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's called Hacienda Huachipelín. Hacienda Huachipelín. Let me write it down for you. Hacienda Huachipelín.
Okay,
And I see that there are some questions or comments already posted. So
yeah, so I'll read this off to you here. Jim said, my wife and I are looking at spending a full month in one place with short exploration expeditions from there. We'd like to be in a cooler area. Do you have recommendations on where to locate and how to find a month-long rental?
Cool climate. Yes, actually not far from my place. There is an area called Sarchi, cool climate. So I already posted there. So full month in one place, short exploration expeditions. So yeah, short, considering that it should take like 1 hour, 1.5 to 2 hours. So, but that, I think that's doable for one-day trips. So from Sarchi, you can visit some of the beaten path areas.
What should folks renting a car be thinking about or know about?
Well, actually, people, when I have clients that they have their own rental cars, and I just meet them, they're pretty satisfied with most of the rental cars. Everything is like clear, it's not like hidden fees, or like you sometimes that you get at other destinations. So yeah, I know like several good rental cars. I'm gonna actually post to here. Adobe Rent-A-Car and Apache Rent-A-Car, and also these ones are pretty well recommended companies to rent a car from. So Adobe, Apache, and Treble, whichever. I'm sure they're gonna they're gonna get good deals from.
Okay. So another question here. Are there tours in La Fortuna and Monteverde that sell out in advance and need advanced reservations? So that's for the first part. And then 2, can you recommend a good tour company there?
Elizabeth, it depends on the season. If you're planning to go during high season, so December, especially December, January, and Easter, it's advisable to book tours in advance. And again, yeah, it depends on what tours you're planning to do there. For zip lining, for adventure, I recommend one called Eco Glide, and you can enter your website. You can purchase the ticket there in advance if you wish.
Was that
Excuse me?
was that Eco Glide?
Eco Glide, yes. I'm gonna Eco Glide zip line. So they have different tours. The most popular is the zip lining, but they also have hikes, I think night hikes, bird watching also. For hot springs, I think the best quality price option there, it's called Ecothermales. It's like we are obsessed with the eco thing. Eco Glide zipline, Ecothermales, that would be the best quality price spa or facilities for hot springs in La Fortuna. But it's, of course, it depends on the budget of every person, right? If you want something like high end, that would be Tabacon Hot Springs. Yeah.
So I'm going to change up here with another question, though. For public transportation, right? Like typically I know folks, or maybe it's recommendable to have a rental car, but for people who are thinking about traveling just by public transportation, is it doable? Can you still get to most of the places without, enormously sacrificing time and enjoyment?
Well, you'll have to sacrifice time because we have fixed schedules, right? And as I said, it takes time to go from point A to point B. However, if you're okay with that, it is possible to do so. And you see, I see backpackers here like every day taking public transportation from one place to the next. So yeah, it's doable. But the more rural the area, the less buses there are available. So you will have to wait longer periods of times, to take the next service. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Another question here: what area of the country do you think has the best beaches?
Good question. And again, it's always related to the type of traveler. If you're looking for surfing, right, or you just want to sunbathe in there. So I love the Southern Caribbean area in Costa Rica. That's the province of Limón. And they have like champagne, like golden, white, and even volcanic, like black volcanic beaches. So they have a little bit of everything. That's remote. That's like 5.5 hours from San Jose for you to get there, or you can take a local flight from San Jose Airport to Limón Airstrip. So I would say Limón and Southern Caribbean. So let me write the names of the
Are there any particular beach? I don't know actually how this works with names or things for the beaches, but are there, and you may be doing this already, are there any beaches in particular that, like the name of the beach that you say, yes, this is the one to go to?
Yeah, right there. I just.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So it will be Cocles, Manzanillo, and Cahuita, and all the area around Puerto Viejo. So this is a laid back area, boho kind of feeling. They don't have big hotels there. They have small, like eco lodges. Some of them are luxurious. Some of them are simple. But yeah, it's the whole area is nice. It's like a different country inside Costa Rica because the cultural influence there is different. So they have Afro-Caribbean settlers there. So they say like a little Jamaica kind of thing. So if you're into that, that's the place to go. The Northern Pacific area also features beautiful beaches. So Guanacaste, the province of Guanacaste. So you can easily spend 10 days only in Guanacaste exploring, going from one beach to the other. And my favorite in Guanacaste, my favorites actually, Playa Avellanas. This one, Playa Avellanas in Guanacaste. And Dantita. Dantita, Dante as well. So as a reference, you can look up for the Catalinas. The Catalinas is a beach community there in Guanacaste. So the area, the beaches around Las Catalinas. So they actually have like nice beaches for us just to spend a good day on the beach.
But are there other less explored areas that you maybe wouldn't recommend instead of going somewhere else? But let's say someone's got a longer trip. Are there other places that you really like where lots of people don't go?
See, well, the area around Tenorio, where the Rio Celeste is, people go to the national park only, and then normally what they do is they take a half-day tour or one-day tours from La Fortuna, from Arenal volcano area to Rio Celeste. But I think it's worth staying a couple of nights there and go local. You know, just mingle with local people, take night hikes there, and ask the locals there. You know, like they will give you directions on where to go. Little communities. We have these eateries, so these small restaurants that we call sodas. So a soda is nice to go to try traditional Costa Rican food, and normally they're operated or they're run by the families, the local ladies. So you can even end up like helping her, you know, or asking for recipes. You know, people in Costa Rica are normally really kind and open to interact with the foreigners. So yeah, let's do that. Go to smaller areas. So it would be Rio Celeste. That's the river, and the area is called Upala.
Are there any traditional dishes that you think are sort of like the iconic ones for Costa Rica and that any visitor should try?
See, well, actually, our breakfast is our signature dish is rice and beans, all mixed with just different spices and everything. So it's good. We have a heavy breakfast here. So rice and beans with corn tortilla, sweet plantain, sour cream, scrambled eggs. It's heavy. So it's so you're gonna get that in Costa Rica. You know, when you sit in B&B or a hotel, that's gonna be one of the options for breakfast for sure. So give it a try. It's good, and it will give you energy for the rest of your day for, you know, to go on adventure. Then for lunch, well, we have something called casado, CASADO. That's very traditional. You'll see it on almost any menu if you go to a traditional restaurant. Again, rice and beans, but this one is not mixed. It's separate, just white rice, beans, vegetable hash, salad, and animal protein. So it can be chicken fillet, steak, fish. So yeah, it's a good option. Yeah, but the plantain is something, the sweet plantain is something that I see foreigners love, you know, and it's something really simple, but you know, the way they cook it, some people add some cinnamon on top, and that's something that is worth trying as well.
If visiting Playa Coco, do you have any recommendations for day trips or tours in the area? We'll be traveling with kids.
If visiting Playa Coco, see, yeah, from Playa del Coco, it's next to Playa Hermosa. If you see the Costa Rican map, it's just like 50 minutes away from Playa del Coco to Playa Hermosa. Most of okay, so you see here's Coco and here's Playa Hermosa. So I recommend, if you don't get like how do you say, seasick, to take a boat ride. It's actually like a panga. It's a small boat, and they take you to the near islands for snorkeling, which is really productive. So you got to see lots of school of fish there, and some of the tours also take you to a secluded beach, crystalline water, white sand beach. So it's really nice. and it's something that I definitely do when I go to the area with families with kids, and also when I'm on my own. Like I love going to Playa Hermosa. From El Coco, they also operate tours to the area I mentioned before, that I mentioned earlier. The one is called Rincón de la Vieja. So they take you to Buena Vista. They have like an adventure park there, or they will take you to Hotel Hacienda Huachipelín, and they have zip lining, horseback riding, beautiful waterfalls or cascades, and that normally includes a campesino type of lunch, so a traditional lunch. So it's also nice for a one-day tour.
Could you speak to the best times of year to visit and describe the times we should avoid? So in rainy season, is it a downpour most days or just steady rain in relatively warm weather?
Okay, yeah. There are not simple answers for Costa Rica, when it's about weather. I'm gonna tell you what I do. When I hear the weather forecast reporters saying it's gonna rain, I leave my umbrella home because I know it's gonna be sunny. As the weather is crazy in Costa Rica. Right now it's transition. So we can say that we have two seasons in Costa Rica, the dry season and the rainy season. The transition is for most of the country right now during May. So transitioning from the dry season into the rainy season. And that's gonna be rainy until October, November. That doesn't mean that it's gonna be rainy all day long. We have either sunny mornings or sunny afternoons. Of course, if you're visiting a humid area like La Fortuna or this area here, La Fortuna, Siquirres, towards the Caribbean coast or on the Caribbean slope, you can expect to be rainier there. If you go to Guanacaste, Northern Pacific, during these months, you can expect some rain, but not as much as the rainforest area. So Guanacaste, the ecosystem there for most of the province is what we call tropical dry forest. So I think it's self-explanatory. So tropical dry forest, they have deciduous forest because it gets drier than the rest of the country. If you go to La Fortuna and if you go to the Caribbean side, you're gonna have like heavy rain. Technically, the Caribbean side of Costa Rica doesn't have a dry season, no matter what time of the year you visit this region. However, their driest months are from August to October. August, September, October. You have sunny days, beautiful, but always with chances of rain any moment. But the tropical rain is different. For what I've heard people, foreigners telling me, it's different, and it's something that you can also experience, and you might end up liking. It's nice. Some of the activities you can actually they are doable even during rain, as long as it's not tropical storm. For instance, you can be at the hot springs, and there's nothing better than that. The different sensation, the hot water and the cold drops, and surrounded by rainforest. I mean, it's just amazing. So it's as we say in Costa Rica, it's pura vida. That's a positive state of mind. That's like Hakuna Matata. So if it's rainy or if it's sunny, it's always pura vida. So just stay positive and get the most of your experience in Costa Rica. So just come prepared, bring your rain jacket, poncho, and have fun. Yeah, it's doable and it's possible, depending on the regions you're visiting.
Okay. Totally different question. For Corcovado Park, how many days do you think are necessary?
Corcovado is interesting. The type of tourism they're attracting. They want people to visit, but they don't want many people at the same time. So they will normally, hotels there will sell you a package, so 3 nights minimum normally, and I think so. It's actually quite good because you get to see and explore the area leisurely. You know, Corcovado National Park it's supposed to be the most I don't know how to say it, but one of the places with the highest density of animals and species. So biodiversity is one of the richest places on Earth. So you want to explore Corcovado and the national park little by little. They have different stations. So one day you can go through Sirena Station, next day through San Pedrillo, and there is this island called Caños Island, and that is great for diving and for snorkeling.
What was it called?
Caño, C-A-N-O. Well, it has actually, let me.
Let's hope I spelled it right there.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, so with that letter that we have in Spanish, yeah, Caño Island, Corcovado, that's great for snorkeling. And also for scuba diving. You know, if you got the license, you can get to see sharks, white-tip sharks, turtles, and even whales sometimes. So it's amazing to go there. It's really remote. So normally what it's advisable is to take a local flight from San Jose to Sierpe. They have an airstrip there. And from Sierpe, you take a boat ride to Corcovado or Drake Bay area.
Okay, this next one is, it's kind of boring, but it's totally practical. Actually, Manny just posted it, and it's the one I had too. What's the situation like with cash? So a two-part question, I guess. One, actually, I'm curious what prices are like in Costa Rica, like what people should expect. And then two, paying with cash versus paying with card. What's that look like? Well,
together with Uruguay and Chile, Costa Rica is the most expensive country in Latin America. You know, related to that cost of living and services, so you can expect a better quality, you know, like compared to other regions with similar type of you know, tours and conditions. And Costa Rica has a good reputation for touristic services, but they are not cheap. That's also related to how expensive gas is at the moment, and with the crisis in Ukraine, it's getting more expensive, the price of gas. So eventually it will be reflected on tours and everything, all services as well. So cash and credit card. Cash, yeah, you can get some cash, just a little cash, if you are planning to stop on route at a soda, at a local eatery that maybe they don't take credit cards, or to buy something from a local vendor, a fruit stand, for instance. But credit cards are accepted widely in Costa Rica, especially if it's a touristic place. So have no doubt that they're going to take credit cards.
Staying on money, I think this will be the last one that I ask, but what should people expect to say to pay, excuse me, for like a half day guide, a full day guided tour with, I guess with driving, right? So a driving tour, half day and full day, what's like an average price?
A guide and driver from
yeah,
driver too,
yeah, I don't know. I was thinking if the guide is also the driver, but I don't know if it works like that.
See, well, again, if you go, if it's a full day tour and you share the van, you know, like for instance, whitewater rafting tours, so it can cost like $85 per person. So the tour, transportation, some snacks. If you want a private service, so from $150 to $200 a day. So the exclusive transportation and the tour for, well, when they're private tours, they normally manage that according to the capacity of the van. So even if it's only one person, up to 7, 8, they still charge the same, you know, $150 to $200 for the service of guiding and driving. And sometimes the any activity, it's on the side. you know, people will pay.
Are there mistakes that you think that lots of travelers typically make when, you know, when visiting? This could either be with their planning, it could be if there are cultural particularities that they're not aware of. Is there any stuff that you see sort of time and time again that people do that really they should do something else or that they could do better?
Normally, when it comes to planning, exactly, because when they say, well, because they think Costa Rica is a small country, we're going to cover it really easily, but they don't consider, because they don't know that there's the mountain range, you know, like crossing the whole country, and that's a game changer, because then you'll have to go around the mountains, go up and down, and it will take time. So just to give you an example, to go from La Fortuna to Guanacaste area, it's going to take you like 4 hours, something like that. So to go from San Jose Airport to La Fortuna is going to take you 3 hours. And that's pretty much because we cannot go straight, right? We have to go through or around the mountains. So yeah, when it comes to planning, I think that's the mistake they make, that they don't consider the distance or the driving time between locations.
Okay. What are the things that you recommend doing when in San Jose, whether it's for a day or 2 days?
Well, as San Jose is really a small city, even if it's their capital, it can be covered in 1 day. So we have beautiful museums there. We have the Jade Museum. We have the largest collection of jade of the Americas. So that's worth visiting. Of course, that's jade made by our indigenous or native people. So if you like history, native history, that's a good place to visit. Then for a more modern history, the National Theater is like a little palace, and it's worth visiting as well. They run tours every hour right there in central San Jose. That's where it is located, the National Theater. And I think it's worth visiting. You'll be surprised. The theater even has features that not many theaters in the world have. So it's amazing, actually. And there is this neighborhood that literally before COVID, like every other week, they were opening a new coffee shop or pub or restaurant. And that's on the east side of San Jose, and it's called Barrio Escalante. I'm gonna type in here. Barrio Escalante. So you can easily spend an afternoon there, just going from one restaurant to a coffee shop and then to the beer factory or whatever. So it's like 6 blocks with different restaurants and pubs and things to do. So it's nice.